This is a HeadGum podcast.
Celebrity Book Club.
Hey, dude, what's up?
Hey, Mikey, how are you?
Doing pretty freaking good. You sitting down on your fat ass right now?
Yeah, I fucking am. What's up?
Okay, get this. I got us 2 tickets tonight. Celtics.
No.
Versus Lakers.
This is?
Courtside.
Shut the fuck up.
Courtside.
At the Garden?
At the Garden.
No fucking
tonight.
way.
So cancel your plans.
Shut the
Tell
fuck
your wife
up.
I won't be home tonight.
Shut the
We're
fuck
going to the
up.
Garden.
Lisa, I'm not coming home tonight or tomorrow.
We might even have to get a hotel room in downtown Boston.
Oh, that sounds like a great
Just
idea.
for us. We shouldn't drunk drive. I don't think so.
No, not at all. We should definitely get a room at that Marriott right off 93.
I don't want you getting on this Zachem after, 19 Bud Lights.
And you're blinded by the gorgeous lights of the skyline, and then you're going right over the Zachem.
The Zachem is such a beautiful
It's
bridge.
such a gorgeous bridge with that wishbone architecture.
I wish I could be a bridge designer.
Okay, so we're going to Tams.
We're going to Tams before. We're doing Irish car bombs. We're doing shots.
6 Irish car bombs each. Maybe we hit up Teatro for some, moderately priced Italian food.
Oh, I've never been to that place, but I read about it in the Herald. They gave it 3 stars.
Yeah, it's super nice. They do a squid ink that I think that would really agree with you.
We got free tickets, right? So
Right.
let's use the money we would have spent
Right.
on going to Teatro.
Yeah, I just got a new pea coat from Banana Republic. It's cropped.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice dude, nice
No, it's
dude.
super nice. It's really good for hanging out with your boys on kind of a casual dressy night or something.
Right, because, I got my jersey, but I should probably wear something nicer for Teatro,
Yeah,
right?
because we're going out to a nice restaurant now, so maybe dress it up a little bit.
Trish, you got my Eddie Barrow quarter zip washed? The maroon burgundy one. XL? Yeah, thanks, babe.
I actually already booked the room. I did it on Booking.com for that Marriott that I mentioned. So,
awesome.
cool.
Really good site, really good points
Yeah,
value.
they have it's one large king. That feels good enough for 2 men like us. That feels totally normal. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I guess I'll pick you up. Maybe
Yeah.
in an hour or so?
Sure, sounds good. And then maybe tomorrow we can do a duck tour or something while we're hungover. Who knows?
Yeah, no, I'll call the day of work. All right. See you. Yeah, okay, see you in an hour, buddy.
See you in an hour, my buddy. Good talk.
Good talk.
Who's that knocking at the door? It's all your friends, you filthy whore. Your husband's gone and we've got books and a bottle of wine to kill. It's Hollywood. It's books. It's gossip. I'm shook. It's memoirs. It's martinis. It's Studio 54. It's Celebrity Book Club. Come read it while it's hot. Celebrity Book Club. Tell your secrets, we won't talk. Celebrity Book Club. No boys are allowed. Celebrity Book Club. Say it loud and proud. Celebrity Book Club.
Buzz me in, I brought the Cuervo.
Hey, best friend. So good to see you on this St. Patrick's Day week.
It is so good to see you, dude. We're both wearing green.
And that wasn't even intentional, but there was something in the air today that I was like, it's about celebrating. Erin
Early
Goblog.
Saint Erin go brawless, am I right?
Hell yes.
Because I'm about to get so twist
Yeah.
in this episode. I'm going to take off my sports bra.
In honor of St. Patrick's Day, we read
Kevin
Garnett. New book, which literally came out this week. Hi, we're
Wow.
relevant podcast. Deal with it.
Yeah, hello, new books, anyone?
The news called It Wants Itself Back.
Release table vibes?
So the book is called KG A to Z. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, okay, so he kind of goes by his initials. Maybe that's just a fun play on the fact that he's known as that. Oh, no.
No. This book is...
Literally a dictionary.
Yeah, it's a dictionary. He reinvented the dictionary. Oh, and by the way, if you don't know, because your head is under a shamrock,
Oh, yeah, Kevin Garnett played for the Celtics and won them the first championships in, forever.
he's won MVP of the league twice. Best defensive forward or something like that.
This is where I'm going to get lost real quick.
He's one of the greatest players ever. He's non-offense, he's defense, which is crazy because he's tall.
I will say, reading this book, I came away knowing nothing more about basketball than I did going in.
So I was a huge Celtics fan as a child, and I was part of the official Celtics kids club, which just meant
This was how I was part of the Kelly Clarkson street team in high school.
Exactly.
Did you have to promote the Celtics on your own time, unpaid?
No, it actually was less of an insane internship. It was more I'm sure my parent I sent in such a invoice piece of paper And like, I'm sure my parents wrote a check for like $25. And then they sent me back a certificate that said like, Lily, like member of the Celtics Kids Club. And then I also had like a badge that was just like, I'm a kid. And I'm part of the Celtics Kids Club.
So it was a badge and a certificate.
Yes.
It was very like a certificate that's just like, you own this star.
Yeah. Like it was very like, I don't even feel like I got a t-shirt. Like it was much more just badge
Right, but you
stuff.
felt a sense of belonging. And
Well,
for a
yeah.
kid, that's so important.
Oh my God. Because kids need
No, they need
community.
No, kids need to find their tribe. Hashtag find your tribe.
And especially as a kid who had learning difficulties.
Right.
ADD. I really
It's kind of funny
related with
because
this book.
but you don't have dyslexia, which is the one. Because like saying like that you just like have ADD, it's very like, cool, babe,
Cool,
congrats.
yeah.
Everyone has
Everyone
trouble
just-
focusing. Like that's not really special. But like when you have dyslexia, people are like, oh, that actually is a thing. And like I can see why that would make your life more difficult, like and sort of like standardized settings. But you don't have dyslexia.
No, I was diagnosed with a nonverbal learning disorder as a child. I don't really still kind of know what that means.
So you have trouble in the thinking area.
no. Yeah, it's in the kind of the math area. They were like,
Oh, like
"You're-
numbers.
Numbers. They were like, you're never going to be an architect.
Right.
And I was like, bitch,
Watch me.
Watch me.
Wait,
Yeah.
this is so like some random viral tweet, and you're just like, and they said I'd never be an architect. Today, I just designed my first building.
And it's like,
it's like
me
this-
in front of a massive
like,
museum, but like in a weird C-list city.
Right. Well, I was thinking more would just be like the most like boring like student center. That's like this
okay.
like 3 level, just like.
Now about
Local
Kevin
campus.
Garnett, the
Okay.
reason why this book is organized so fabulously that I feel like we both loved.
Yes. So the book is just all entries. And so, like, an entry at most will be 3 pages, but a lot of them are just a paragraph, and it goes from A to Z. So it'll be like Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant, but then it'll be like Kevin Costner, and then it'll just be like Family Guy,
Video games.
Jehovah's Witness.
And one thing that I've always thought, you should be able to open a book to any page and it should work. As someone who likes to make very
Thank
snap
you.
judgments on things, like I'm always picking up one of my boyfriend's like whatever, like Lacanian
Tomes,
philosophy
yeah.
tomes, and I'm like in the middle of some dissertation and I'm just like, I don't know, this is insanely dense and like I actually think this point is wrong. And he's being like, well, you actually need to read it from them. Which is like, well, you actually like that's a bad writer if I can't open the book to the middle.
You're like, it's a bad writer if it's not a coffee table book.
No, if it's not, if it doesn't have big pictures or just like easy to hop into, it's like not everyone's time.
What's cool about this book, right? It's like you can hop in, but it's not a coffee table book, but you can just hop in to anywhere in a coffee table book style.
So wait, can I read this passage where
Absolutely.
he describes why he wrote it like this? Because I really related to this.
I think I know what you're going to read. And I was like, when I was reading it, I was like, damn, Steven's going to really connect with this part.
So he's like saying he's like, oh, I'm dyslexic. I struggle with words on the page. Yet here I am writing words on a page. That's one of the reasons I decided to structure this book this way, like an encyclopedia with little bite-sized entries. Because of my reading problems and my limited attention span, I'm not the kind of dude who's going to kick back on the couch with a book for an hour or two. I'm going to pick up a book, read a page or two, and then bounce. So I want to write the kind of book that I'd want to read. I was like cheering. I was like, yes, bitch. Literally, I'm so like read a page and then bounce. I can't literally when I sit down on a couch with a book, it's insane to me. I start playing music. I get a cup of water. I get 2 pages and I'm like, this is absurd.
I feel like you are only thinking as you're reading, I'm reading.
I'm sitting there, I'm just going, I'm reading my book.
I feel like that's also I feel like when I lost my virginity, that was the only thought I was having. It was like, I'm having sex.
Okay, so Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett.
For those of you who don't know, again,
Basketball
basketball player from the South Carolina.
Yes.
What is a kind of a famous basketball player, probably in the maybe top 20?
I think top 10.
Okay, let's say top 10.
Well, probably top 20.
Okay. And he grew up poor in the Carolinas. He had this crazy thing happen to him in high school. Did you read that part?
Yeah.
The lynching?
Oh, yeah. So that was completely insane. So he gets in a fight. He's learning basketball and playing basketball, and basketball is life, but his
right.
know.
But his mom is not so pro basketball. And so he didn't really tell his mom because she was very a hard ass. And she was always work hard, study hard. And she would, occasionally be physical. He had this stepdad who beat him.
And then he met his dad, who he was like, oh my God, finally I have a dad. And then the dad
was
left.
also an asshole. And so the mom was very just okay, don't play basketball, like just like
Go to school,
study,
right.
go to school, like get a job,
And even when he then started, like, got on the team in high school, like, he had to hide it from his mom. And then, like, once he saw her in the stands, and she was, like, so pissed.
Yeah, so he was kind of just being like not really mentioning that he was going to basketball practice.
Okay. Also, this made me kind of think about, like, how, like, I was, right, like, so obsessed with basketball as a kid and, like, right, as a Celtics team. And I went to basketball girls camp, and I was like, before the WNBA existed, I was like, I want to be a basketball player. I'm like, maybe they will like invent a basketball team for folks like me. And then came middle school where we met, and like I did an audition.
You auditioned for the basketball team.
And I just feel like I'm a slow runner, and I was like so shocked. I did not make the A or B team, and we ended up on like the kind of the D
wait,
list.
was I on C team
yeah,
basketball?
we were on
also?
C team basketball. We would like go play basketball at this Armenian church.
Oh right, and it was just like all the like losers and faggots, and
yeah,
like,
just like
fat
freaks.
kids and freaks
Yeah.
and like autistics, and we were all just like bouncing around.
And
I
that
feel like
was
we also
just-
played handball, right?
Yeah, they switched it up for us. You know what I mean?
They were like, these kids can't do anything for too long.
And that was just such a blow to my ego. I really was like,
You really thought you were going to be this like champion baller?
yeah, because I was like playing b-ball all the time. Once I skipped soccer practice, and my entire soccer team watched super awkwardly, and I played basketball at the same park with my babysitter.
Sorry. So you went to like youth soccer practice.
Yeah.
Your babysitter took you there. And then you were like, sorry, kids.
No, I didn't even
and you
go.
just like walked off the field, like tossed your shin guards behind you?
No, I didn't even go to the practice. I just told my babysitter, I was like, I don't want to go to soccer practice. Let's just still just go to the park and play
You were just
basketball.
allowed to not go to soccer practice?
Yeah, and then we just played basketball, and they were like all kind of like looking at me, being like, what are you doing?
The lack of discipline. You know how badly I didn't want to fucking go to youth soccer or fucking Little League and had to?
I can't believe you were even put in Little League.
Yeah, I know. It's completely insane. And it was like all these like psycho parents who were just like so like projecting onto their kids and just like, hit the fucking ball, Timmy!
No, once in Little League.
And I caught the ball once in 2 years.
Oh, that's so sad thinking about you in Little League.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it was always like deep right field.
yeah. And you're there.
That's sort of the
you're
C team
waiting.
basketball of baseball.
Right. You're back there kind of waiting, just staring at the stars. And your dad was like, son, like, it's good to join a team.
Wait, we were in the middle of a story about Kevin and we got very sidetracked, but we were saying why he got kicked out of
Oh, okay. So this is like,
school.
learned about this extremely fucked up law. I guess they like made a lynching law, supposedly, to
Right.
protect black people. Then, of course, the courts were racist and used it against
Well, it's
black
like, I
people,
mean,
basically.
yeah, lots of laws can be used against the vulnerable. Existing laws that like aren't necessarily always used for that purpose. The law is a double-edged sword, as we say.
Exactly.
And but anyway, so it's like he saw his friend like getting jumped, and then like he went in to go like defend his friend, and like there was a fight. But anyway, so he was like on probation from this fight, or on parole.
On parole. So basically in South Carolina, this lynching law is like they turned it and they were just like, oh, lynching is also just if a fight is like more than two people. So they charged him with lynching. And it's basically like a capital
is so
offense
insane.
there. So he like got a lawyer and transferred the charge to Chicago where it's only a fine of $50.
Which is kind of like fabulous of that lawyer.
I know. And so at this time, he's getting like super successful and is getting like on like an NBA.
He's like going
draft
to like
track.
teen camps,
Like Nike
the Nike
camps and-
camp, and he is like insanely tall. Wait, okay, this is another thing.
Oh, wait, the 7 feet thing? Wait,
but
that's insane.
No, but literally the passage in the book where I was like, okay, I'm sure like this book out of all the books we read won't have the same passage that like every celebrity does where they're just like,
Oh, I was tall and
I was so
thin.
tall
Yes,
and awkward, and it was so awkward how tall he was. And then literally in this book,
Yeah, but here, okay, if I may defend him for a second, he's like basically 7 feet. So it's like,
no, I mean, I'm sure he felt ostracized. I just think it's amusing that every single
Yes, and
celebrity
no, we
has
should start-
to say that they were just like, no, and it was actually super weird, and I was so tall.
thin and tall.
And I was
don't
like,
know.
wait, here we go. Okay. I know being tall is something usually seen as good, but for a kid, it also means you're always going to be noticed. You can't hide. You're the focus of attention. And if you don't feel good about yourself to begin with, as many kids don't, you don't want to be noticed. You can feel awkward. You can feel like a freak of nature. Being shy, the last thing I wanted was attention. So it's like, that actually could have been lifted from any of the books we read.
We should start keeping tally of like drink every time
there's a, I was super tall.
I was super tall and like super weird and gangly.
It was awkward.
Okay, this is my question for you. Like, what would you do if this happened to you? So his mom like picks him up from court after this like charge was transferred to Chicago with bags packed with his little sister. They fly to Chicago.
The flight is very turbulent.
It's very turbulent.
They get to Midway, not O'Hare, and she literally just says, okay, bye. Turns around,
goes home,
gets on the next flight back to Carolina, and he's just left and she no plan or anything.
No plan with his 14-year-old sister.
And he's 16?
He is 18 at that point.
He
so
is
she's
technically an adult.
Right.
Cuckoo.
And she didn't speak the entire time. And he talks about how like nerves. And he was like, well, I knew not to say anything to her. And then what he does is he just like calls through like he just
it was honestly he was very spy about it because he was like he knew the name of this coach that he had met at the Nike camp and he was just like I'm at Midway and the guy was just like
I'll be there in 30 and then picks him and his sister up and like brings them to an empty apartment and then he calls the mom and the mom I guess is like I knew he'd find you and then that high school did change. His last year in high school did change his life.
But that was the moment. Like that's the kind of moment in every celebrity story where like they get to the big city and it's like
right. And it's like Demi Moore and her mom like peddling at auditions. Like So also he's famous for getting drafted out of high school. He did not go to college, which he was the only second person I think in the history of NBA to do that. Mm-hmm. And so what's fucked up about the NCAA to like NBA pipeline is like players are not allowed to make money in the NCAA, but yet all the colleges are making tons and tons of money.
Right, they're making a lot of money off these young men.
Like,
right, young men of color.
Yeah, and also he noted that...
Well, and then I think, and part of the thing he says is bad about it also is it just like, it gives all these kids, like, it gives them a lot of ego, but like, it doesn't give them money. And it like...
Yeah. I also was so impressed by how wise he was, because I feel like if I, as my dream was at age 10, if I was like insanely popular and like such a good basketball player and like someone brought me like so many sneakers and all this money, like I would absolutely be like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And Kevin Garnett doesn't. His grandmother, who's like so fabulous and is always shushing him for 4 hours so she can watch soap operas.
Oh, his grandma who's just like carries a gun with her to the supermarket.
Yeah. And then so this like recruiter brings like a bag of money and then the recruiter just hears like a ka-ch, and it's like that's his grandmother like getting out her rifle and just being like, you take that money and get the fuck out of here. Anyway, just saying I would absolutely like take all the Adidas and like not get it.
No, and and we've talked about that sort of mindset before, and you do need to know your worth and not just take the first thing that comes along.
No, you are a master negotiator, and like he learns when he argues his contract.
Right, and he gets like the most expensive contract in the history of basketball.
But then it's like awkward because like then everyone's mad at him, and all the players kind of see him differently.
And then it's like causes dissension in the ranks, and it's like you actually have to be on a team with these people.
Well, he talks a lot about having to pay your dues, like knowing as a rookie, and just like you have to like keep your head down, but like also talk trash, but like.
Right.
It's like such a mix because it's like he's like the most like famous trash talker and this book is so funny and he's so hilarious. But at the same time, like in the early like years, he's getting like schooled that they're being like, oh, he tries to talk trash to Michael Jordan. And they're just like, yeah, so like you're going to go ahead and not do that.
Yeah, so that's actually not allowed at all. Yeah. And he is the one person that you really are not allowed to talk shit about. And then like Jordan like schools him in this like game they're playing or whatever. And like Jordan gives him that pair of shoes that one time.
Oh, that's insane. Okay, that I really related with, where it's like they're playing some game. Like
that part too was so like homoerotic.
Yeah, it was like I think it was like an MVP game.
They play an MVP game, and then Jordan is like unlacing his Jordans
midway, and they're like special playoff.
And he's
Jordans.
like going to put on his second pair of Jordans for the game, and then Kevin is just like, "Yo, dog, like, can I get those?"
And then he just throws them at him and goes, "I'm not going to sign them." It's just like,
like, I'm not going to sign them, you desperate faggot. But like, inhale my foot sweat and like put it on a fucking little glass case in your little trophy room.
Right. And he's like, and they've been on my shelf forever, which brings me to, let's talk about the Charles Barkley part. He like throws in the part about the trans bathroom bill.
Okay, so
Okay.
I feel like this book came out this week, and this book has very came out this week energy,
Right.
where it's
Came
like
out
I
this
can
week.
tell that the editor was definitely like, I am gonna need you to make passing reference to like at least 10 of the like most recent news controversies of the past 4 years to like make this book relevant. So he's talking about Charles Barkley, and then he's like, and you know what, and like he was always a progressive guy, and when that bathroom bill came out in North Carolina,
he goes, and when that garbage bathroom bill came out, and you're just like,
What?
Go all the way off, I guess, like talking about the trans bathroom bill.
and just be like, and he was against it. And then it's just like, but that entry is like a paragraph long. And then it's like, he also talks about that gay basketball player, Jason Collins, who came out and he was just like, and I do admit that I maybe was prejudiced, but I learned that it's not always good to be prejudiced. And sometimes you have to kill the hate within to find the love within. And then it's like, okay. And then the next entry, like about Ruth Chris's Steakhouse, is like 4 pages long.
Right.
And it's like,
It's
okay,
like,
you
yeah,
obviously don't care about Jason Collins, don't know him. There's like nothing about this in the book. And they were just like, you actually are going to need to go ahead and include 1 paragraph and a half entry about like this famous gay basketball
The
player.
amount of times Ruth Chris's Steakhouse was mentioned.
That restaurant has always confused me. It's Chris's
Chris's.
Steakhouse.
Right, not Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
Or no, it's Ruth's Chris.
Ruth's Chris.
But like, what's going on there? Why?
Ruth is Chris's.
No, it's Ruth's.
Ruth's
It's
Chris.
like Ruth's. So there's a Chris Steakhouse and it belongs to someone named Ruth, but why?
Why? I mean, I don't know. Let's go. It's just sad for me because, like, obviously I want to be like a massive athlete in like a huge double-breasted suit, like going into Ruth's Chris's Steakhouse.
With
like,
all your boys?
With all my boys. Okay, he's also like so sober and he's just like, we're out at like DaCosta's Monte Carlo's restaurant. It's my 24th birthday. We're laughing. We're talking till 4 a.m. sober.
Yeah, so he's a
I guess
Jehovah's
that's-
Witness. His
yeah.
mom is sober. She like kept him off drugs and alcohol. And he's obviously surrounded by partiers all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, he talks about, okay, the part where he describes that plane that was basically, it was like Soul Plane.
Oh, yeah,
And
then
he was
he's-
like, we made Soul Plane look like Mary Poppins.
Right, and he was just like, we're playing dice. We're playing like beret.
But no,
Beret.
bourrée.
Bure, which is like spades, but like more crazy. And he's like, you better like show up with like so much money in Rolexes to play Bure.
Kevin Garnett is a cool cat. You know what I mean?
Super-
You get that vibe from him. Like, I do think that, yes, the editor made him put in a bunch of just like blue check, like libtarded content, like because it's 2021. But it's just like, I think he is a totally cool cat who is like actually way cooler than that and just like likes people and is down to clown. And it's like his ghostwriter is a bisexual,
Jewish.
dyslexic, Jewish.
This guy, David Ritz.
Just
The name
like-
sounds so familiar.
Well, I mean, it's like those are just sort of common words.
So that makes sense. Maybe he's just being like, what do you think of trans people? And then Kevin Garnett is just like in a huge chair, just being like, love him. Book of Job. Like,
Book of
Job.
Man, like if cats want to do what cats want to do, then like do your thing.
I know this whole book, it's so fab. And he's calling everyone a cat. And it's like, it reminds me, obviously, when I was being so retro and getting into Sinatra, how I just like really wanted to like make a point to call everyone a cat, but I was 11, so it was kind of hard. And is that hard? Is that weird for me now? I just don't think it's ever going to happen naturally for me if you're not
It would seem a little yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like when I, in 7th grade when I forced myself to make my A's and my G's like in that Times New Roman font.
gay.
Yes,
Yeah, confirmed gay.
Confirmed,
Yeah.
absolutely, like psychotically gay. And I would just sit and I would practice my A's over and over and over again in class until it became muscle memory. And now I just always make my G's like in that fancy New York Times way. And,
Wow.
that's maybe something
Not
you could have
the
done with
New-
Kat, but I don't see the commitment there. And this goes back to the discipline issue.
Wow. And the basketball.
And the basketball and the youth
skipping soccer practice.
Right, commit to
But
something.
I committed to Little League. I did minor and I did major.
Okay, well, where's your trophies?
Oh, you want to see my trophies?
Do you ever go to state?
Yeah, we did. Well, we did All Stars for the city. I have a North Cambridge All Stars t-shirt
So you were one of the best people in North Cambridge?
and the minor league. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Proud of me.
Proud of you. Worked
So
for
you
the-
played kind of like an
from my
exhibition
cop
game.
coach.
But yeah,
Talk
good.
about discipline.
Celebrity Book Club.
To loop back to Michael Jordan for a second.
Yeah.
It's interesting that Michael Jordan is sort of untouchable in the basketball community. So I was looking at some of the stats like as a researcher, and there are some folks who would say that maybe Michael Jordan is not the best basketball player of all time. Maybe it's LeBron James.
Maybe it's Kobe Bryant.
Right. And if you actually look at the stats and sort of the passing and the whatever, and again, like I still have no idea like how basketball works. Sorry, I'm a girl. But like Michael Jordan is untouchable because of his commercial power and the fact that he was able to create this like insane powerful brand around him that was like did so much to just like elevate the sport
so he is
and
the
like
only...
elevate it as a business and like elevate the people who play it as role models. It was like
Shark Tank vibes. I feel like Garnett really tried to learn from Jordan's business vibe.
I mean, he was also very Jessica Simpson, where it's like he got a
he
bigger
licensed...
royalty deal on his licensing deal, and it's like he get like Michael Jordan, like before it would be normal to get like 0.5% of every sale, when Michael Jordan gets like 5% of all sales or something. So it's like he's making like an absolute gazillion amount of dollars. So it's like a lot of, basketball players now, it's like if you're coming up in basketball, a lot of the access to fame and fortune
is licensing. It's your Adidas, it's your Nike.
And a lot of that you have is because Jordan paved that way and he opened that door.
I want to talk about another M who changed the game that he talks about in this book.
Mark Cuban. Wait, this was so funny.
It was, okay, hold on.
Because he changed the game by basically adding amenities to gyms.
Literally making, okay, well, I was going to say, so Mark Cuban is the Danny Meyer of the NBA.
Yes, no, it is all about hospitality first, and it's just like, if people have really good water pressure in the showers and like rainfall showers and like steam rooms and access to massages.
And massage chairs and like, what did he say? Hyperbaric chambers? He was like nutritional coaches. Like,
crazy. Wait, where's the Cuban section?
Wait, Mark, what's cool about this book is like when we're always like searching for pages.
Obsessed.
I think it's under...
Okay. Before long, you could see Cuban changing the culture. Practice facilities getting a 24/7 chef. Nutrition becoming a big item. The right kind of juices. State-of-the-art shower heads hitting you with maximum pressure.
I was like, damn, I want to take that shower.
Jet spray tubs big enough to house 7-footers. Now they're hiring barbers and players can get a haircut before going home. And the history of the league is the history of more than a few cheap owners looking to beef up profits at the players' expense. Cuban turned that around. So it's basically like, you put in a little bit of investment to making the players' lives better. You're getting so much more back, and you're getting a lot more player retention because of those amenities. This is sort of the Google method of employee retention, where it's just like, if you give employees everything they want, then they're never going to leave, So you give them everything they need at the facility.
Feed them Wagyu beef at
the Health Point training center.
Okay, but did you see the part when he got traded? And he's like, I moved to the West Village, and he's like, I was obsessed with the West Village, and was just being like, I didn't want some high rise in Midtown. He was like, I wanted a townhouse to spread out. And he was like, I loved going to the little shops. And he was just being so Taylor Swift.
Dude, I forgot about this completely Taylor Swift segment.
I mean, basically that's it. He's just being like, I love stepping out, like, and going to restaurants with my family, and just like, he was like, it's European and it's a fairy tale and it's cobblestones and it's so like, welcome to New York. But then, no, his point is that he was like, I was shocked that people were still being so Boston-New York rivalry, and like people coming up to him and his daughters being like, fuck you, like Knicks forever or something.
Right. So when he decides to play for Boston, he's like, makes this big decision to switch from Minneapolis Timberwolves, as he calls it, Mini.
He
keeps saying Mini. He's like, when I made the decision to play for Boston, it was like this big deal, and I was like the super hot player in the league, and people were like, where's he going to go? There's all this, tongues are a wagon, and he's trying to call his friends, and he's trying to get in touch with Kobe Bryant.
Oh, yeah.
And Kobe Bryant is not answering the phone. And so he thinks it's all because, like, he said this thing to Kobe at a game, just, like, on the line, like, before the game started. He would, like, shit-talk to him a little bit or something. And he thinks that Kobe's, like, still holding this over him. And he calls him. He's like, and I called him again. And then I called him again.
And then I call him
27 times. And he doesn't answer. And then it's like a month later, he gets a call back from Kobe. And Kobe's like, sorry, I was in China.
No. Kobe doesn't even call him. They're at a game.
Oh, right. They're literally at a game.
And he's like,
I called you.
And Kobe's trying to be like, why are you acting so weird? And he's like, so do you not remember when I called you 27 times? And he was like, I was in China. And he was like, you don't get messages in China? I mean, he was very calling out, like, I don't get texts. My phone isn't working.
He was so calling, I just got this culture.
Right.
Or he was just like, you're actually lying. And I know that you have an assistant. And like, you probably did get my message. And you didn't want to counsel me about my move to Boston.
Which is like, and it's like, Kobe then kind of admitted just like, well, and it's like, I guess Kobe was just like didn't want to deal with like him spiraling about his trade. And it's like, who knows what was going on?
No, and I mean, I get it. I mean, there's also that thing where it's like someone is asking you for career advice and you're kind of like, well, your career's actually kind of like doing better than mine right now. So it's like, I don't really want to like be in the position of like listening to you kind of drone on about how hard it is for you to like accept this writing position at this like TV show or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think that was...
Oh, you don't? You've never experienced anything like this?
I just think that's two different situations. I don't think
I feel like that is part of it. And Kobe was just like, I don't want to hear you bragging about like the most epic trade and how you're going to be the most highly paid basketball player
on Earth. Him just being like, oh, should I take 312
million or like take 350 million like to play for Miami? It's like really like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, can you help me?
Yeah, I mean, I think Kobe also may have just been like a little bit more very...
Oh, Kobe is being like, I'm separating work and family and like I'm in China actually.
Yes, I'm in China. These are my boundaries.
These are my boundaries and I don't do America stuff while I'm in China. Because I'm actually respecting their culture. And please respect my boundaries.
Speaking of respecting cultures, can we talk about him talking about his respect for Japanese streetwear?
Oh, yeah. And he's just like, the cats in Tokyo.
Yo, he was like,
they wear the craziest.
Wait, hold on. If I may pull up Japan. Okay, well, so he talks about just like, okay, yes, Japan is highly congested, highly conformist country populated by millions of corporate cats wearing plain-ass black suits. But all that conformity gave rise to a youth movement of artists and clothes and designers who said, fuck that shit. We are going our own way. I went crazy for brands like A Bathing Ape, The Great China Wall, Y3, Red Monkey. I went wild for Japanese denim. I saw how they made that old school denim with the mill and the wheel. They did like old 50s, like the old Lee jeans. I became a certified denim head. I also became a fan of salvage stitching and cuffs. In Japan, the manufacturing of denim is an art form. They work that fabric like no one else. And when it comes to skinny jeans, I love me some skinny jeans. The Japanese have perfected the product.
Okay, salvage queen.
Absolutely Japanese raw selvage queen.
Yeah, iconic.
Obsessed. I didn't realize how also obsessed with he's really into skinny jeans.
Yeah, that's surprising. I would love to see some more pictures of his fits because it's like usually when you see athletes not in their athlete clothes, especially basketball players, I feel like it's suits. And he's very pro suit as he discusses. But we'll get into this in segment stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, I guess I don't associate him with fashion the way that you associated Dennis Rodman with fashion.
Well, I mean, so in the Dennis Rodman story, which is so iconic, where he's like, so much respect for him, just like, but I was like, it sounded like, you know, he was kind of scared of Dennis Rodman, like many maybe were. But just the one thing about Dennis Rodman is that Dennis Rodman comes into the gym and is running on a treadmill in thigh-high combat boots.
And obviously, like, you know, as he mentions in the very short section on Jason Collins, he's like, maybe he did have some prejudice towards those kind of fits. But then he was like, but I also respected his confidence. And then, of course, later, Kevin Garnett is in Japan and he's buying just like all the most insane,
raw,
skinny salvage raw.
Love to go shopping with him.
Yeah. I'm sure you'd love to go shopping with his credit card.
Oh, please.
Kevin?
Can I buy these raw salvage like boyfriend
Kevin,
jeans?
Let's go to Shibuya. Let's just fucking do it.
Like, sushi.
So I like the part when the head coach of the Celtics, when he first gets to Boston, takes them on a duck tour. Takes him and Paul Pierce and the other guy on a duck tour.
I'm screaming. That part was...
And he was like, meet me at the dock at 8 a.m.
Sorry, it was the most Boston... When I read that part, I was like, that was the part I wanted to talk to you about.
And he was just like, what the fuck is this? He was like, it's called a duck boat.
Is there anything more Boston to be like, meet me at a dock and it's at 8 a.m. and it's it's like just being so The Departed, but it's also so Boston because it's also just about the duck boats, which if you don't know, a duck boat is a boat that is also a car.
It is the world's only amphibious car. It is a car that goes in water, honey. Okay, well, a question I wanted to ask you. Okay, so when he announces his draft, that he's going to the draft, so he's like still in high school, and it's this like really crazy moment because high school students never go to the NBA draft. He announces his like draft announcement from Home Run Pizza, which is like Home Run Inn Pizza, which is like this pizza place in Cicero, in Chicago. And I was wondering, you know, where would you announce your draft announcement pick?
So
What location?
It's so funny because on the train over here, I was literally thinking of asking you the same question.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow.
And I instantly just said, because of, there has to be a lot of reporters and stuff. I'm not saying that this place is my favorite place.
You're just thinking about venue capacity.
I'm thinking about a place I like is true to kind of my hometown and venue capacity.
Okay.
I would say the Bertucci's at Alewife.
I love that
Because
idea.
it's basically, it's also a pizza chain, so I kind of wanted to go in that vein, but it's a local pizza chain.
Right.
And also you have the gorgeous high ceilings, the brick, all those pizza ovens, but also it's enough room. It's not, you can get all of those reporters in there.
Yeah. There's a couple options coming to mind for me.
Yeah.
So one is just descending the elevator at Dover Street Market and then like coming out of it like on the Comme des Garçons floor and then everyone's like, oh my God. And it's so like Trump in the elevator vibes, like when he announces his candidacy on the gold escalator at Trump Tower. Another option would be Copley Mall in that center space. Oh, descending escalator. But then you know how they have the big fountain with like that gorgeous marble carving.
Oh my God. Well, that's it. It's Copley.
Well, but then I'm also worried about sort of sound interference from the fountain. They could maybe turn the fountain off for the actual interview.
Because that's the echo in there.
Yeah, the echo.
And you're shouting in. It's so basketball where they're always like getting interviewed and like they're so sweaty and just like yelling into the thing. And you could be like shouting over that the echo and the pennies being dropped in the fountain.
Right. But basketball team is also so Ritz and they're just like in the lobby of the Ritz, like getting onto their big bus and just being like, we had a good game.
So maybe you just do it in your parents'
do it in my
lobby.
parents' house. Oh, we didn't even talk about Uncut Gems.
Yeah, we didn't kind of. It's so good.
Great movie. Watch it.
Great movie. Watch it. But, and he talks about, and he's just like Adam Sandler. He was like, that dude was Pacino.
Was he even nominated for that?
Yeah, not Sandler.
Sandler.
Huh. Well, Uncut Gems.
An Independent Spirit Award. This is the thing. People talk about the Oscars like they matter. It's like, of course they don't fucking matter.
They don't matter.
They don't really look at the performances.
I watched the Golden Globes last night. I didn't hear of one fucking movie on that show.
You were like, excuse me?
Oh, yeah, excuse me? What happened?
Wait, did Emily in Paris win?
Sadly, no. I was like rooting for Emily in Paris. It was just like Schitt's Creek sweeping it again.
Oh, kill me.
It's like...
No, put that on the list with fucking Paul Rudd.
I also don't get... Whatever. We'll go to segments. We can talk about Schitt's Creek off air. Segment Hoops.
What does she wear? What does she eat? How does she live? Okay. So what does he wear? So obviously he's super into fashion.
He's super into fashion.
8 feet tall. So when he said like selvedge and like Japanese, I was like, thought he was going to be like so like capital and like wearing so much like, new like funky designer like Bape streetwear kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he's wearing like the skinniest jeans I've ever seen. They are absolutely painted on.
I mean, yeah, these jeans are so skinny. It's insane. Because when I think raw Japanese selvedge denim, I think like a little bit more like rockabilly, like dark but shiny. You know what I mean? Sometimes.
Yeah, I think that like a Visu kind of brand. Like I think it's like super like starchy and it like stands up on its own.
No, I mean,
that's not like
what's
starchy.
Actually the most Boston thing about him is not playing for the Celtics. It's honestly this weird male style where it's just like,
well, that vest is also
he's wearing
very
like basically like a tech but cropped like puffy vest, just like, probably expensive hoodie, and then these painted on skinny jeans, more painted on skinny jeans.
I mean, there's a point at which it's like when you have that kind of body, you know what I mean? When you are an Adonis, when you are a god.
Show it off. Yeah.
Show it off.
He's like, I mean? Look at these gams.
We don't need to have like some crazy outfit on. Like, look at the fucking gams. I'm going to be wearing a normal sweatshirt. Like, that my body is pulsating with raw male energy, and that's all you need to know.
But I also think he's like, I'm fashion, I'm gonna wear these skinny jeans.
No, and I'm sure everything costs $800.
Right. I just mean he's like, let's, I'm different. I am Japanese.
No, they're nice, expensive jeans, but like I don't need to wear like the most like wide cropped crazy like.
No,
this is not like a Shibuya street fashion outfit.
No, I think he's not like in a like huge corduroy,
right? Like cropped
corduroy, but like if someone turned him on, maybe was like, actually, this is so Japanese. Like, maybe you do need to get.
Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing like if he had like one crazy funky piece in the mix. Like, did he buy? And like, he also may have like some really funky crazy pieces that he just doesn't wear. Like,
we're seeing him out just like kind of right in skinny
and
jeans.
obviously I'm sure he has like 1,700 pairs of sneakers, and he has like a walk-in closet that has like so many like just never worn sneakers and like collector's Jordans, and because he has his own shoe at Adidas. Oh wait, did we talk about the shoe section?
No,
but he gets really into shoes, and he's like, and then I was working with Puma, but like they don't really have good materials, and like actually I kind of had to like get out of that deal because like they're using like shitty rubbers.
Puma's kind of the most random brand.
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of like, who's it for? I feel like I'm always every summer like almost kind of buying the Puma skater shoe. Oh, it was fun when he was like such a skateboarder as a teen and talking about like wearing airwalks, and he was so skater, and I would love to kind of see that style.
You know, Puma and Adidas are based in the same German town, and they have a historic rivalry.
Oh, I think you've told me that once and I've forgotten.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me.
Please remember my German geographical history tidbits.
Do you remember that shiny Puma jacket you had?
Oh my God, I remember that jacket. It was
like very Italiano, like
Japanese
race
street
car.
fashion.
Yeah.
It was so bright and shiny, and my skin was so crazy. I had to like, I had so many zits, and my skin was so red, and I would wear the shiniest red jacket that just set off my acne.
That's what you think, but I remember when you got that, I was so jealous. I wanted that shiny. I was like, I want to be looking Dario and Dreddy or whatever.
But the way that I did not look like an Italian, like
I wouldn't.
Formula One racer was really.
I wouldn't
insane.
say you did, but at the time, just do be known that like I was like, that's a fucking cool piece Steven's rocking.
And of course, I was wearing it over a kimono, over a vintage T-shirt with my mom's
jeans.
like wooden jewelry, Hudson jeans that were so whiskered.
And then you maybe were so Puma because you were so Euro sneaker and like tiny little Euro sneaker that like turned up.
Okay, I don't think my sneakers were tiny.
I meant, sorry, excuse me. I didn't mean size-wise. I mean like it's a slim leather.
Yeah.
They weren't bulky at all.
Actually, no, I know the shoes you're talking about. Yeah. Those Marc Jacobs shoes.
Yes,
and
they were thin leather.
They were like little bitchy little slippers.
I'm just saying, if I was Kevin Garnett, I would not be working with Puma either. I'd be working with Adidas.
No, I'd spend some time with Puma and I'd say, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Ladies,
I
this
think he
isn't
ends up
working.
going with Adidas.
Right. Oh, wait, like what he's talking about, he was working with that other brand, like
which is more, I feel like, Japanese of him.
And he was just
I'm not
like,
going to do Nike.
And it was like all these like white guys who were just like kind of like being a little bit like too thirsty. And he was like, there's always been something weird to me about just like white guys who were just like being like so desperate for black culture. And it's like, can you calm down? And they were all just being like,
oh, you know, somebody like Jonah Hill's.
No, they were
like,
so.
Oh, dude, that's so
fucking
dope.
Yeah,
and like
that
dope.
Was so dope.
Like,
and when you like took that 3-point shot like off the 5, like, and you did the mids, like that was so cool. And just like, that was so fucking awesome, man. Hey, man, put on Migos. Like,
right.
Put the Migos
and they're
track
coming
on,
in, they're
man.
like,
let's get some more waters in here.
KG, check out these fucking 85.
Yeah,
like,
awesome.
These like 93 Jordan X5. Like, and he's like, okay, literally simmer.
Guys, please do simmer down. But then he was like, but then I went working again, but then it was so weird. But then I think he goes back to Nike. He flops around. He does not have any allegiance to one shoe
didn't
brand.
look up what the shoes ended up being eventually.
I will say this. I don't like basketball shoes like for myself.
Well, it's not really your style.
Yeah, it's like when I wear
I see.
Because I wear like athletic clothing and don't do anything athletic, so I'm totally fine appropriating sport culture, but like basketball shoes are just so big. You were very into basketball shoes.
Used to be so basketball shoe. In high school, I would wear those like retro throwback basketball Converse sneakers that I feel like what they were called, the Superstar, something like that. And
the ones with the pumps.
No, then I bought the pumps off eBay. I bought used Reebok pumps off eBay.
Old school.
Fucking, I mean, I am that white guy. Just mean like,
no,
dude,
you literally are.
I'm like, check out my pumps.
You are Jonah Hill.
And anyway, yeah, I was obsessed with like totally retro basketball sneakers. And I was kind of KG where I was like, I feel like then in college I was wearing just like the skinniest black jeans and then like a huge white basketball sneaker.
Yeah, I know that was fully, you are KG style.
Yeah.
And then you also just love a big suit.
His first suit that he buys is from like Rochester Big and Tall on South Michigan Avenue in Chicago and just like is the most like massive.
And you would walk into Rochester Big and Tall like, hi, I need one suit. And they were like, excuse me, young man. Maybe one day you can shop here. And you're like, I'm 23. And they're like, okay, well, you're actually not a basketball player, so you need to leave.
Yeah, happened to me many a time. And I'm always like wanting to like be in like a big and tall Steve Harvey suit. And it's like, I should be thankful that I actually like am too small for it.
No, and you do have size dysmorphia.
Yeah.
Okay, what does he eat?
Okay, so he's so steakhouse. He's so Ruth is Chris's.
Yeah, I mean, he's an athlete. He's having like a 6,000 calorie meal.
Yeah, but then he also says he loves his routine is eating peanut butter and jelly before the game, which is so athlete and just being like, I need to have like a child.
I mean, it's like so many superstitions.
Yes. Also completely insane though, when he was like, before Red Bull, I would pour Gatorade into black coffee, which is so like fucked up gill water.
I mean, that's like meth behavior. That is like meth gay behavior. Just like, one La Colombe draft, one Gatorade Glacier Mist. Mix them together. It's really good. It's all you need for the day. It keeps you going.
And then I don't need to eat. And then I'm sure, he's like, is having juices and just like alkaline water.
The right kind of
juices. I was like, what is the wrong kind of juices? I guess it's so like when bananas have too much potassium and you can't like overdose on bananas.
Well, no. I mean, I think he's talking about like health food juice as opposed to like juice, as in like juicy juice, which is all sugar, and like apple juice and like grape juice, which is literally.
He meant right.
I think he meant like green juice and like smoothie juice and like LA juice. How does he live? Okay.
I mean, as he said, he didn't want a penthouse. He wanted West Village vibes. He wanted.
I think that was just temporary. I mean, to me, I'm pretty sure that it's big. It's like, I think all athletes basically live in a massive McMansion that's completely empty. There's nothing on the walls. I think it is spotless. I think everything is Windex to within an inch of its life. I think that there's like a custom sofa that can seat a 9-foot person that is just like the largest recliner.
But I think he actually does have stuff in the walls. I feel like maybe he is like random framed Prince poster.
Okay, framed Prince poster, yes. Like
and then,
framed like photo of Malcolm X.
Yeah, and then maybe there is like some random art and just like
there's an Uncut Gems poster like in the office or something.
Yes, and just like then like sneakers and like a gem and different athlete stuff. But yeah, it's the most massive couch in the entire world to like fit him and his like family and like friends.
But it's still just like white walls. I don't think there's like paint on the walls. I don't think there's like wallpaper rooms. I don't think there's like a lot of like different like decor ideas going on.
Gorgeous though.
Yeah, I mean, he cares about water pressure. I'm sure he's got. I'm sure he's got this.
I bet the bathroom is designed quite kind of gorgeously in the most insane mansion way.
Yeah, I bet it's. I'm just saying, I don't think it's really like there's really any like flourishes decor wise going on. I don't think I
would love to see what was going on in that West Village townhouse.
Yeah, that's interesting to me. Yeah,
I bet he still has. I bet he has that, and then I bet he also has like his LA mansion.
I'm sure he was just like, I mean, as you know, he's like smart with money. He was like, okay,
I need to unload
this and I'll make a tidy profit if I like sell this. I'm sure he like the townhouse went up in value like 3.5 million over the course of 2 years.
Well, wait, who are you in the book?
Oh, who are you in the book?
Well, you're definitely Garnett in the way that you're like, I'm not going to sit down and read a book for an hour on the couch.
I'm definitely him with regards to
and
books.
I think you're a good negotiator, and you're like, I'm not taking the first offer.
Well, but then sometimes I am. When the second offer comes back, I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to eat shit on this one.
Right, but I also don't think, and maybe you are good at, because you also are like a trash talker, but you're also like, it's all still fun and games. It's on the court. But I also don't think like you're banging your head like against like a pad. I don't know, maybe you are. Okay, you're Garnett, in my opinion.
Wow, that's a huge compliment.
Yeah,
Thank
you're welcome. He is a champion.
Yeah.
But if you have other thoughts.
Well, I guess I'm just like, am I the bisexual Jewish ghostwriter?
Yeah.
I guess he's not really in the book.
But you are kind of that. Like, there's parts of Garnett where I'm like, yeah, you're not obviously like Jehovah and like... So you're not as intense as Garnett and you don't play sports?
Yeah, like I'm kind of jealous of his intensity. Like I feel like he has... Oh, wait, actually, no, there was a part that I did kind of relate because they were just like, he's so stubborn. And once he gets an idea in his head, like he can't let it go. And I feel like I do kind of like... I'm quick to judge.
Right.
And when I like get an idea about something, like that thing is that thing forever to me.
I'll tell you who I think I am.
Okay.
Johnny Joe, the famous Celtics equipment manager. Johnny Joe Cano is one of my favorite people in life. Johnny Joe's a legend. Irish dude. St. John chain around his neck, medium height, in great shape for his age. Loves Notre Dame. Looks a little like Ray Donovan's uncle. Got that bop, 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 bada bing style, North End style of talking. A supreme charmer who the ladies love. JJ is only devoted to his wife.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, heard. Going, you are so equipment manager.
Yeah, and I'm just like bringing so many sneakers, and I'm like, do you have a size 13? But I'm also like arranging travel, so. And I'm like, okay, Amtrak vibes.
Yeah. Okay.
Next.
Next book on the docketto is David
Ogilvy.
Oh, this comes back to the Ogle pronunciation.
Yeah, we're going to go a little more back in time to an old book, Shakin' Manhattans.
It's called
Wheelin' and Dealin'.
Confessions of an Advertising Man. That's right, honey. We're going to the Mad Men era, 1960s. Madison Avenue! So we're going to get into the great
We're talking
big
about
world
foam core mock-ups and ad campaigns.
of branding. Which we both have a lot to say about.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very excited to read this book. I hope you guys are excited to
pumped.
listen to it. As you know, you don't have to read the books, but feel free to. This Kevin Garnett book
Yeah, dude, seriously, new release.
It is available now for purchase or for download onto your
And
Kindle
as you know,
or Nook.
Steven is obsessed with like numbers, and let's get Kevin Garnett some good numbers.
Yeah,
on this
no,
book.
definitely.
Let's get it to
First
the
week
top.
sales.
First week sales.
Praise be to Kevin for writing a book that you can just pick up and sort of leaf through and
Read
you don't-
whatever, put it on the coffee table. People are like, this is fun. Also, if you're like a girl, or anyone, not to gender, this would be an amazing gift, I think.
I mean, I will say, my criticism with this book is that, like, I don't think it really describes basketball for people who don't know what basketball is.
No, that's not his job.
Okay, well, he sort of wrote the book, so it's like...
I just think it's just like learn a little bit about basketball and then buy the book. Like most people who are buying this book are not like coming from Mars being like, what is basketball?
Yeah, your attitude right now is actually really, really, really aggressive and unnecessary. Like, this is actually, we're talking about
I'm just saying,
writing.
so he has to do the emotional labor for you?
Yeah, it's called an audience, called a reader. It's like how we're describing this book to people who haven't read it. I'm not coming here saying, if you haven't read it, like, don't listen to this podcast. It's like, if you don't know what a 3-point shot, a 5 or this person on this team kind of thing is, it's like, I would appreciate it a little bit more sort of like descriptions, even from an emotional perspective of what it's like to play a basketball game so that like I can sort of like get in that moment. And I didn't really get that from this
Do you know what
book.
a free throw is?
Well, I mean, I can imagine what a free throw is.
There you go. Look at you imagining.
Right. But I'm saying, like, for
3-point
example,
shot?
the Agassi book, I felt like it was just like he talked about a tennis game in this way where it's like, I don't know the tennis terms, but I get the vibe of what it's like to play tennis. I get the vibe of like what the challenges and the mental challenge against the other player is. And it's like, didn't totally get that from this book where I would just be like, I'm not coming away with like a deeper understanding of the game.
I see what you're saying. I guess I'm kind of just like, that's also the nature of the book to be like so random and skipping ahead. So it's with Agassi, it was such a narrative where we're like knowing what 30 Love is a little bit more.
Right. I did find myself kind of like speed reading when it would be a little bit more basketball-y. And I was like,
and even I'll admit it too.
But
I did too.
but I guess, to the book's strength, like you can do that. And I can just like skip ahead to the part where I'm like, oh, I've heard of LeBron James, so I'll read this section.
Right. You're like, I've heard of Janet Jackson. And
Yes.
right. When he's so like 3-3-0 defense to the back. And you're kind of like, yes, defense.
Nods and gay.
Yeah. Oh, right. Well, I give it, it's actually kind of hard to rate. I really did love it. 3.
I guess I feel like I'm giving everything 3.5 shamrocks out of 5, and that's like kind of my vibe right now. I mean, I guess I give it 3 out of 5 because I'm just like, it wasn't so juicy. Like, I really like I like him and I like the vibe.
And it's super funny, and it's also a super like fun format. I'm giving it 3.5 shamrocks out of 5.
So happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Pat's. Tag us and what you're doing on St. Pat's when this book comes out.
Oh, yeah. Show us a picture of your corned beef roast.
What you're drinking. What you eating.
Yeah. Show me your little shamrock.
Show me your cabbage.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. As always, follow us at CBC The Pod.
Right.
Rate, review, subscribe.
And we are obsessed with you and we love you. Go Boston.
Go Boston. Boston strong.
Boston strong. Best.
Best
regards. Celebrity Book Club. All right, shut the fuck up and listen to me for 2 seconds. Celebrity Book Club is presented by Prologue Projects and Headgum. The show is produced by Meg Manane, who is hot, with editorial support from Andrew Passons, who is also hot. and Leon Nafok, who did beat me in an arm wrestling match once because I was very, very drunk. Engineering by Ferris Monchi. Original theme song by Newtonville's own Stephen Phillips Host. Artwork by Teddy Blanks at Chips NY. Honestly, like a good guy. I've never met him, but he just seems like, he seems like good people. Follow us on Twitter at CBC The Pod. Subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Leave us a review. And don't forget to tell your friends about us. Don't forget to tell your cousin about us. Don't forget to tell your neighbor about us. Who?
His father and his father.
Yeah, no, his father. Your cousin's father. The one who owes me money. Listen, honestly, at the end of the day, we're friends, and that's what matters more than anything. So, please have that reflected in your review. Good luck.
And if you're blood and you haven't left a review yet,
no, you're out of my will.
Then you're not blood anymore,
out
okay?
Of my will. If you are related to me, even as a second cousin, even if you are my uncle who moved to New Zealand and his wife he divorced, she's a documentary filmmaker. Pardon me. Okay, it's like okay, Miss Fancy. Leave a fucking review.
Thank you.
That was a HeadGum podcast.